4. Populus Homestead Management Center, the PHMC. This department is the workhorse of the 4 departments. As the above departments are mostly knowledge-based, the PHMC is where that knowledge and will of the people gets crystallized into reality, physically building the body of the society. Composed of various facilities and services from mines to farms, utilities to highways, all means of production and distribution will have at least one such PHMC establishment representing, paid for, and directed by the populace, and employing numerous populace-paid individuals. A. Structure of the PHMC. 1. Populus Services. The types of services performed by the PHMC are too extensive to describe here in detail. However, a few are briefly mentioned to convey the general idea. These services and facilities will often overlap or be one and the same. Operating costs of services and facilities are had by a specified amount of tax dollars allocated by populace vote, rendering the products and services generated able to be given to the people for free or at cost. A. Populus Construction Service. Divided into national, state, and local levels, the Populus Construction Service is the builder of all populous projects within the nation, from houses, highways, to populous facilities. The projects they undertake are not planned in haste as many modern projects. They are reviewed countless times until the entire populace agrees upon the final plan. In contrast, most present-day developers develop to grow or evolve nothing but the destruction of the earth in inharmonious ways. Land is changed in ignorance to higher goals and harmony with nature, for money, not for necessity. Had they these thoughts in mind, they would then truly be developers, as is the Populus Construction Service. Until then, they are merely destroyers. The use of all populous forces for populous projects eliminates the common practice of political favoritism to one private construction company, at times even owned by a politician, causing inflation of prices to the people, and ambiguous and misleading itemized expense sheets supposedly detailing the incurred costs of public projects. B. Populus Electronics. This facility and service produces electronic devices at cost to the populace at their collective demand, including TVs, radios, computers, and cellular phones. The projects undertaken are decided upon by the populace in detail. Cost is not to be mistaken with cheap, for the populous workers will be well paid, which will be reflected in the price. However, they will also be highly skilled, increasing efficiency, also reflected in the price. As well as all materials used will be had at cost from populous mills, also reflected in the price, causing an inexpensive end product made by the people for the people. Obviously, no profit is placed on populous products and services because the profit would simply be returned equally to the people, creating a pointless step. C. Populus Militia Industry. It is illegal for any private company to have their products used in war. The reason is because one who would profit by selling one's product in times of war, for example, munitions, would therefore be a supporter of war. This is not to say that a private company cannot produce war-related items, such as weapons and machines. It simply cannot sell them to the populous militia. Therefore, their products must be sold to private interests, and at risk of treason, those interests may not be foreign. Such individuals wishing foreign war customers are more than welcome to move to their customer's country and establish a prosperous business there. As such, the populous militia industries' factories, plants, and mills are erected to build all tools of war, preventing private industries from coercing a nation to war for private profit. Their strategic focus will be upon homeland defense as a neutral nation, unlike today's active invasion and patrolling of foreign nations being defined as defense. D. Populus Utilities. All utilities are owned equally by the local populace. No privatized utilities are allowed. This system will not be a monopoly because every single citizen is equally a part owner. A localized service upon which people depend cannot be privatized because it opens the door for exploitation, captured markets, and price gouging. Each utility's actions are directed by the populace. All remaining poles and lines will be strictly populace property. Any other way, 1. Allows for anyone to place poles and run conduit wherever they desire, and 2. Disallows anyone to place poles and run conduit because all the property has been monopolized by another private entity. Nearly all personal electricity is to be generated on site and supplemented with biofuels if necessary until efficiency is achieved. A large portion of the electrical transmission grid shall be dismantled, the towers and wires removed from the sky and wisely recycled. All remaining transmission and communication lines must be below ground in an underground conduit system owned by the populace. Water shall also be mostly generated on site with wells and rain collection devices and methods, coupled with electric distillers. A substantial amount of sanitary waste shall also be processed on site by advanced means. The operating cost of any remaining utility is divided equally by the amount of people receiving service, with the people paying proportionately for their consumption amounts. Natural gas will be slowly phased out. All populace phone and internet service shall focus upon achieving completely wireless systems. Private phone and cable companies must use Populus line, or pull their wire through Populus conduit, renting the line and space. With a central point of generation of any utility, in times of war, one bomb could deprive an entire city of a utility. Self-generation keeps all supplies in times of war. This in itself is an immunity to the ever-rising threat of terrorism, which is most likely simply small groups paid by the need suppliers to justify more spending. Need to sell security technology? Blow something up. Need more resources to exploit? Deem a nation as a terrorist capital so the people don't mind conquering it. Need the support of allies? A small $1,000 car bomb in their country will do the trick. The individualist is immune to terrorism by self-generation and through detailed knowledge of military defense of the self and of the homestead, armed and unarmed. E. Regional Environmental Management Authority, REMA. REMA is the DEP and EPA, both purged and combined. It fulfills all of the same duties, yet it is strictly directed by the populace. A mere 200 years ago, man could drink his fill from any stream. Now he can drink from none. REMA shall begin ardent campaigns of re-establishing man's harmony with nature, as well as maintaining it. It works in connection with the Populus Construction Service, conducting general maintenance of all lands and populous properties, federal, state, and local. 2. Populus Facilities. Similar to the previous section, the complete description of facilities to be erected is too extensive to present in this work. However, a few are briefly mentioned to convey the general idea. All erected populous facilities are agreed upon by the populist direct democracy. They will be constantly monitored at the time they are operational by the GEP, who shall report clearly to LAFKI, so that the reports may be read by all of the people, who may, at any time, demand more detailed information. The itemized breakdown of the cost of each facility's construction, daily operational costs, and returns to the people, products, services, and/or profits will be placed upon a plaque at the facility in clear view of all. Thus, this shows the exact amounts and reasons of tax money and expenditures or returns generated by the facility. A. Populus Conversion Facilities. With the implementation of individualism, all existing devices using fossil fuels must be converted to renewable energy source within 5 years. Therefore, the Populus Conversion Facilities will be one of the most utilized mechanisms in the move towards a fully electric society. These facilities will be located near hydroelectric power plants, thus having the capability to make powerful magnets and batteries with these high voltages. The magnets will be used in Populus electric motors and generators of all sizes, assembled at these facilities. These facilities will also convert all internal combustion engines into fully electric vehicles, recycling the engines for metal to be used for more electric motors, wound with the copper salvaged from the dismantled electric grid. All products and services of these facilities are given at cost to the populace, payable by energy certificates allowing various methods of pay, or by loan or a labor force trade. B. Populus Equipment. Each locality must have a warehouse of populace purchased equipment, from power tools, tractors and attachments, construction equipment to cars, trucks, and recreation vehicles. Each piece of equipment and its rental price was agreed upon by the locality prior to its purchase. Any profits made by this facility will be either returned equally to the locality or used for the purchase of additional equipment, dependent upon that locality's vote. C. Populus Fabrication Shops. These shops are open on a first-come, first-served basis, having a sign-up list with a maximum successive time limit per each individual. Taxes pay for the general construction and upkeep of the facility, and people pay individually for length of time using the facility. The price of that time is decided upon by the locality. As with As with any Populus facility, people who do not use such a facility may file to be exempt from its taxes, but then may not use the facility. However, this would be unwise, for this tax would amount to a very tiny amount of money when divided over all of the people, and after the initial construction, facilities as this will most likely be self-sustaining, gaining their upkeep from their use and generating a yearly profit returned to the people. Any profit is returned evenly to the contributing people of that locality. The equipment includes lathes, drill presses, bandsaws, welders, milling machines, sheet and pipe bending equipment, vacuum forming machines, injection molding machines, etc. This gives access to the commoner the use of such machines for a project of one's desire, whether professional or hobbyist. LAFKI instructional classes will be available there to instruct the inexperienced on the proper use of such equipment. D. Populus Farmlands. The Populus Farmlands include agricultural farms, fisheries, and animal ranges, as well as solar and wind farms, all erected at that locality's desires. The agricultural farms grow food for the resource reserve. If it is not used in a certain amount of time, it is converted into fuel, when able, or another form for storage. The wind and solar farms will have a small on-site Populus Resource Reserve office, where the people can charge any type of battery, from home storage batteries to fully electric vehicles. Any surplus of energy generated there is either converted into hydrogen by water electrolysis or stored in deep cell batteries banks for future use. E. Populus Laboratories. These various laboratories of all of the sciences are directed by the populace for their interest, curiosity, and necessity, as opposed for material gain, at the expense of ignoring and hiding cures, or creating toxins and titling them as medicines, as do the perverted modern labs. They will be unhindered by corporate directives and restrictive funding requirements, allowing the scientists to truly pursue their love and the interest of humanity, causing science to evolve at an incredible rate. F. The Populus Seed Bank. This facility supplies the people with every type of seed that they may need. They will not supply the modern genetically modified seed, which produces seedless plants, causing the people to have to buy seeds every year. On the contrary, they will be perfectly natural seeds, so that if reared correctly, the grower will have an endless supply of seed. Seeds will include fruits, vegetables, trees, tobaccos, teas, and coffees, to tropical plants for those with greenhouses, freeing anyone from having to buy such products. G. Populus Vehicle Works. The Populus vehicles will be designed as a national, state, and local cooperative project. The nation will most likely agree on a general design, while the localities will come up with the customized versions. Each car will thus reflect the unique desires of that locality. They will be fully electric vehicles, sold at cost to the people, utilizing materials from all Populus facilities, mills and mines, etc., built for the people, by the people, as it has always been, save that the private profits have been removed, as well as usury, resulting in a very inexpensive end product. Yet the camaraderie formed in such a cooperative project by highly educated people will also cause that vehicle to be of substantially high quality. This is not to say that the nation will only make a single car. As the system grows, they will produce trucks, motorcycles, and all other vehicles by the same cooperative procedure.